In the last class, we had discussed about how we can find whether the given number is prime or not, right? How we have find? First of all, we have to see how many factors we are having for a given number. Okay, how we can check whether the how many factors we are having for the given number? We have to divide the number with all the numbers from 1 to that particular number, right? We will divide with 1, we will divide with 2, we will divide with 3. Whenever we get the remainder as 0, then we can say that as the factor. So after finding the factor, we will be maintaining the count, right? So we will initialize the count value with 0. Whenever we find a factor, then we will increment the count by 1. Okay, did you attend last class? Online also? Yeah, you could able to follow, right? Okay. Let us consider the given number is 13. We have to find whether this 13 is prime or not. Okay. For that, what we will do is we will divide this 13 with 1. Okay. It is divisible by 1, right? So the number of factors as of now, before dividing it is 0. Now we have found one factor, so it will be incremented by 1. Next, we will divide this 13 with 2. How many factor is 13 divisible by 2? No. So count will remain 1 only. Next, this will become 3. We will divide with 3. We will divide with 4. It is not divisible. 5, 6, 7 like this up to 13. 13 is divisible by 13. So the number of factors will be incremented by 1. So it will become 2. So now how many factors we are having? 2 factors we are having. Whenever we say 2 factors, we are having 2 factors for the given number, then we can say that number as prime number. So how we can write the program for this? First of all, we have to take input, that is n input equal to enter number. Next, for I in, we have to repeat from, we have to check from 1 to 13. So range, I in range, what should be the value of I? From 1 to 13, that is 1 to n. 1 to n. In the range function, how we have to ensure that? 1 comma n plus 1. 1 comma n plus 1. Then colon. Then what we have to do? We have to divide that n with 1, n with 2, n with 3. What is that 1, 2, 3? It is nothing but I. So we have to divide n with I. Okay. Then we have to check whether this is equal to 0 or not. That is, whenever we say n mod I is 0, then we can say I as the factor. So we have to check this. Whenever this condition is true, we have to increment count value. So count value we will be incrementing. So how we can write? Count is equal to count plus 1. What should be the initial value of count? 0. Where we have to put that? Before starting this itself, count should be 0. So here we will be initializing count as 0. Count is equal to 0. Then we are taking n value. Then we are checking whether n mod I 1 is 0 or not. N mod 2 is 0 or not. Like this we will repeat. So after completing this loop, then we will check whether count is 2 or not. We have to check. So align this, that is after coming out of this loop. Now we will check whether count is equal to 2 or not. Why we are using double equal to here? Why we are using double equal to here? To compare. Okay, whenever we use single equal to, then it will be assigned. Like count is equal to 0. Single equal to we have used. So 0 will be assigned to count. If you use 2 equals to, then it will be compared. Both will be compared. Yeah. Count is equal to 2. Then what we have to print? Prime. Else not prime. Is this clear? Next, if you observe any number 13 or 15 or 16 or 4, okay, any number, that number will be divisible by 1. Any number will be divisible by 1. That is simple observation, right? Next, one number will be divisible by itself, isn't it? 13 will be divisible by 13, 15 will be divisible by 15, 4 will be divisible by 4. Okay, these two are straight away we could able to observe. Okay, for that we no need to check, isn't it? Can we need to check? No. So can we optimize it? How we can optimize is range of 2 comma n. 2 comma n if you specify, it will go from 2 to n minus 1. If you specify 1 comma n plus 1, then it will go from 1 to n. Okay, start to stop minus 1. So 1 to n. If you specify 1 comma n plus 1, it will start from 1 up to n plus 1 minus 1. That is nothing but n. So up to this it will repeat. So now according to our observation, what we can eliminate? Dividing with 1 we can eliminate, we can avoid that, and one more thing, dividing with itself. So 1 comma n, these two we can avoid. So what will be in between? 2 to n minus 1. So how we can specify 2 to n minus 1 in the sense? We have to start from 2. We have to end at n. We have to end at n minus 1. So we have to specify n here. If you specify n, before that only it will stop. But it will start at this only. Okay, 2 comma n. So here we can use 2 comma n. This is also correct. But unnecessarily we are checking, right? Any number will be divisible by 1. Any number will be divisible by itself. That's why we can avoid those two. So that range of 2 comma n we can write. Then what we have to do? N mod I equal to 0, then count will be incremented. Whenever we find a factor, count will be incremented. Then finally what we have to check? To declare the number as the prime number, we are leaving that one, we are leaving n as well. No factor should be present other than this 1 and n. So count should be 0. So count is 0, then only it is prime, otherwise not prime. Whenever we use 2 comma n, then only count should be 0. If we use 1 comma n plus 1, then count should be 2. Understand? When we will use count equal to 2? Range 1 comma n plus 1 if you use, then we have to consider count as 2. If you avoid that 1 and n, then we can check whether count is 0 or not. Clear? Next, suppose if you consider the number as a 14 as the number, 14 we are not checking with whether 14 is divisible by 14 or not, isn't it? Next, one more observation is after 7, 8, 9, 10, these all will not be the factor of 14. That is another observation. So we can stop at n by 2 itself. That is, we can stop at 7, that is n by 2 itself. So how we can ensure that? We can start from 2, then n by 2 plus 1, isn't it? N by 2 plus 1, so that it will stop at n by 2. Okay, it will stop. Yeah. If n is odd, then also it will stop at n by 2. It is like what? If n is odd, suppose you consider 13 by 2, 6.5. In order to ensure that, what we can say is there is one operator called //. In general, 12 by 2, what is the answer? 6. 6 by 2, 3. 7 by 2, 3.5 we will be getting, right? Suppose you wanted to get only 3, then this operator will be used. What we call, usually this is division operator. Okay, this is division operator. If you use //, then it is considered as floor division. it is considered to be floor division. What is meant by floor? Floor function we have discussed, right? Floor in the sense 3.5. What is the floor? 3. Like that. So this whenever we use double slash, then it will give what? 13 by 2. That is 6. If you use 13 by 2 directly, then it will give 6.5. Understand? And now you say answer for this. 6. 12 by 2 is also 6. 12 floor division 2 is also 6. Got the difference? So now instead of using slash, you can use floor division. Yes? Tell. We need to check even or odd. Yeah. So now 2 comma n by 2 plus 1. This range we can change it like this. Got it? Next, can you modify the program now? Can I need to change? Range of 2 comma n by 2 plus 1. We will check whether it is a factor or not. If it is factor, we are counting. Count should be 0, then only it is a prime. Otherwise, it's not a prime. Right? Note down this, then we will discuss. Is this first class for you? Is this first class for you? Why? Okay. Online? You didn't attend? Only 2 weeks. How many classes you have attended? Here is that. What you did? Just you have switched on, then kept it like that as TV. What is the use? Not for me, for you. What is the use of joining? 2 weeks back you have joined. What's the difference? Linux programming you have attended. Who have discussed? Where is that? Why you are not coming regularly? Only one class we attended. Why are you not coming? Why? Did you find any difference? Online, offline? Definitely there will be difference, right? That impact will be more here. Yeah, noted, right? So now, if you observe here one thing, let us consider the number given is 16. Okay, we will start from 2. Okay, 2 to up to 8. So 2 comma 9, range of 2 comma 9, but it will start from 2 up to 8. Okay. Now 2 is a factor or not? Yes. So count will start from 0. Count will become 1. So we will start from 2. So count is 1. Next it will become 3. Count will be 1 only. Next it will become 4. Count will be 2. Next 5, 6, 7, 8. Count will become 3. Next 9. We will stop here only, right? So now, what is the count? 3. What should be the count to become it as a prime number? Yeah. It should be 0. Why? Because we are starting from 2. Okay. So count should be 0. Okay. If you observe 16, then we are getting the count as 3. Let us consider count as 160. Okay. We will start from 2 to 80. Okay. 2 to 80 we have to check. 2 is a factor, so count will become 1. Next 3, 4. 4 is a factor, so count will become 2. Next 5 is also a factor. 6, no. 7, no. 8, yes. 9, no. 10, yes. Right? Next 11, no. 12, no. 13, 14, 15, 16, yes. 17, no. Like this up to what extent? After 15, after 16 you tell. What is the next factor? 20. Next after 20, 22, 32. 22 is a factor or not? 22 is a factor. No? Okay. Next 32. Okay, 32. Next 40. Okay, next 40, 80. Then that's it. Okay. So these all factors, I think we will get at least 10 factors, right? So count will become 10. But to determine whether it is a prime or not, count should be 0. Then only it is a prime. Other than this count as 0, it will be considered to be not prime. Now, if you consider 160, then after finding out one factor exists, we are counting up to 10. Okay. Now you consider 1600. 1600. So 2 to 800. So after finding 2 itself is the factor, right? 2 itself is the factor. Then we will keep on counting. It may be like 100 factors might be there, just roughly. Okay, or 50 factors. So what we can observe from this, from these numbers, like taking 16, 160, 1600, like these kind of things, whenever we find a factor, count will be incremented. Okay, irrespective of the number of factors that we have for that number, what we can conclude? It's not a, if you find a factor for the given number other than 1 end itself, that what we can conclude? Not a prime. So can we need to check up to 800? Up to 800 we need not check. Let us consider 1601 is there. 1601. In order to determine whether it is a prime or not, what we have to do? 2 to 800 around. Okay, 800. We will be repeating. I will keep on dividing. We will check whether the remainder is 0 or not. Like that, we will check. But in order to determine it as the prime number, let us consider 1601. I hope it is prime number. Okay, 1601 is prime number. Now, I'm not sure. Let us assume that as the prime number, we have to repeat from 2 to 800. We will keep on doing. For that, we need to do. But in order to determine it is not a prime, we can conclude prior to itself. Understand? Usually from 2 to n by 2, we have to repeat. But in some cases where we are having not prime instance, we could able to stop prior to normal completion. Understand? When we can stop? When we can stop in this one, you tell? When count is increased. So where count is being increased? In this particular statement, right? So whenever n divides I, okay, n is divisible by I, then we can say, then what we can say? It is not a prime. Okay, we no need to check, we no need to continue, isn't it? Okay, let us consider, you have noted, right? Now you see, just I will replace this with directly what we can print? Not a prime. Yeah. Okay, fine. Not a prime. After this, what about prime? Prime, suppose the prime number is given, then it will not print this, right? Okay. Okay, let us keep that case aside. Discuss whether the you consider 17. Okay, number is 17. Then then okay, not 17, 18 you consider. 18. Okay, 18 mod 2. It is 0, right? 18 mod 2 is 0. Then we can conclude that not a prime. Okay, according to this loop, this is a loop, right? For loop, I value starts from 2. So we will check. It will print not a prime. Afterwards, I value will become 3. Next, 18 mod 3. 18 mod 3, 0. So what it will print? Not a prime again, isn't it? Not a prime. So next, it will become 4, 5, 6. 6. Again it is 0. So what it will print? Not a prime. How many times it has printed? 3 times. Next, this becomes 7, 8, then 9. Again it will print not a prime. How many times it has printed? 4 times. How many times it has to print? Only 1 time is sufficient, isn't it? So for that, the requirement is whenever we find a factor for the given number, we wanted to terminate this loop. Okay, if you don't find a factor, try to understand, if you don't find a factor, we have to continue. Okay, 2 to n by 2 we are repeating. Whenever you find a factor in between, then straight away we can give the conclusion that it is not a prime and we have to stop. We don't want to repeat this. Okay, otherwise we have to continue until this. Okay, for that we are having a convention called break. Okay, break is the statement which is used to terminate the loop prior to its normal completion. I am repeating once again. Break is the statement whenever we use that, loop will be terminated prior to its normal completion. What is the normal completion? Normal completion of this loop, whenever we reach I value n by 2, I value as n by 2, then it will terminate normally. But prior to its, if you wanted to terminate, then we can use break. Okay, so how we can use, let us see, just here we will write break. Okay, now let us consider same, or instead of this you consider 21. Okay, 21, we will start from I value starts from 2. So count value will be whether we will maintain or not, that we will see. But as of now, we require I value starts from 2. 21 mod 2. It's not equal to 0. So next I value will be incremented. So I value becomes 3. So 21 mod 3. Then break. Okay, break. What can be concluded? So when we can conclude it is not a prime, whenever loop has terminated prior to its normal completion. Try to understand, if loop has terminated prior to its normal completion, what does it mean? We have found one factor other than one end itself. So now we can check what is the value of I. What is the value of I? What is the value of I? Now 3. Whenever we execute this break, what is the value of I? 3. Okay, in general, if you don't have this break, or if you have given 17 as the input, then we will not be finding any factor for this. So break will not be executed, but still loop will be terminated, but normally it will terminate. Okay, what's the value? What will be the value of I at that time? What will be the value of I? N by 2 plus 1 or n by 2? If it is n by 2, is the condition true or not? Huh? Suppose value is 16, 2 to 8 we have to repeat. If the value is 18, then 2 to 9 we have to repeat. 2 to 9. So whenever it is 9, it has to check or not? It has to check. So I value, whenever I value becomes, then only it will terminate. So now what can be checked here? Now you say. Now I value, if it goes up to n by 2, if it goes up to n by 2, then we can say it as prime. Okay, till that time also, if you don't find any factor, if you find any factor, I value will be less than that. I value will be less than that. Okay, so what we can check here, if I value, okay, then it is a prime. Or on the other hand, I value like prior to its normal completion, that is prior to its normal completion, like less than, yeah, if this is less than or equal to n by 2 plus 1 or n by 2. What? So what should be here condition? Less than or equal to? Less than what? N by 2? N by 2 plus 1. Less than n by 2 plus 1. Okay, that you check whether it is less than or equal to or less than, that you check. And for your information, tomorrow you will be having lab. I have announced in last Saturday itself. Okay, you will be having lab from 10 to 1 morning, tomorrow morning. 10 to 1, you have to assemble here. While coming, one lab is there, right? Here. Okay, any questions you have? You need not, if you have laptops, you can bring, otherwise systems are there. Okay, better not to come with laptop. Okay, so that you will have real exposure, whether I haven't installed anything. Okay, I am not asking them to install. You only will install Python in the system, then you only have to face all the problems, then you can rectify yourself. Got it? So now if I is less than this, then then what we can conclude? If it's not a prime. Otherwise we can write, right? It is a prime. Otherwise it is a prime. Okay. Same, right? Reverse. Yeah. What? Yeah, same comparison only we will do, right? Yeah, anything is fine. But why I have written like this is, you need to focus on this break. That's why I have written like this. Yeah, take this. What is the use of break now? You tell. To terminate the prior to its normal completion. That is important. To terminate the loop, that is not the functionality of break. Without that, without break also, loop will be terminated. But at what? Whenever I reaches n by 2 plus 1, then only loop will be terminated. That is normal completion. Prior to its, if you want to terminate, then we can use break. Yeah. Taken. Okay, write a program. And now I will explain the scenario. For that, you write the program. Okay, you can frame question accordingly. Okay, I will explain the scenario. Listen, I will be giving the number as the input. Okay, we will take n as the input. Then, if it is even number, we will display square of it. Okay, if it is even number, we will display square of it. So in general, how we can write? Just taking input, you know, n value, n is equal to input of enter number. That's it. Then after that, we have to check whether it is even or not. So we will check. If it is even, then print n square. Okay, or somehow you can take one variable into that n into n you can assign, then that you can display. Okay, fine. But here the thing is, this n is, if it is even, then we will display n square. After that, again we will ask another input. If it is even, we will display square of it and we will ask another input. Again that we will store into n only. Okay, again that we will store into n and we will display n square, provided it is even number. Again we will take another number. If it is even, we will display n square, again we will take another number. Like that we will keep on taking the number and square of it we will display. Okay, if I give 2, it has to display 4. If I give 3, it should not display. Got it? So 3, whenever I give 2, it has to display 4. Whenever I give 4, 16. Whenever I give 6, whenever I give 10, 100, it has to display. Whenever I give 9, it has to stop. Try to understand, it has to stop. Usually it has to repeat. Okay, but whenever I wanted to, I give negative number, it has to stop. Okay, suppose if I keep on giving even numbers only, after taking 5 numbers, it has to stop. Okay, if I keep on giving even numbers, maximum of 5 even numbers, it has to 5 even numbers it can take and it can display the square. Okay, but in middle, if I give odd, then it has to stop. Okay, now for this scenario, you write the program. What is the input? Then after taking input, then n mod 2 equal to 0, then we will display n square. Okay, fine. Next. Again we have to take input. So n is equal to input. Then again we will check whether it is even or not. If it is even, again we will display n square. Again we will take another number. These things like taking input, then checking, displaying square. Okay, again taking input, checking, displaying square. Okay, these 3 statements we need to repeat. How many times we have to repeat? 5 times. So 5 times we have to repeat. To repeat 5 times, what we have to use? To repeat 5 times, we know how many number of times we have to repeat. That is for I in range 1, 6 or range of 6 directly. Range of 6 if you specify, range of 6 or 5. Range of 5 we have to use. Right? Range of 1, 6 or range of 5, then by default it will start from 0. It will start from 0. If you specify 1, then it will count from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, before this it will stop. If it starts from 0, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we have to repeat for 5 times. Okay, but in the middle, if you get any odd number as the input, then you have to stop. Got it? Can you able to write it? Write that. Just whatever the 3 statements, that is taking the input, checking whether it is even or not, then printing this. These 3 statements we have to enclose in a loop. So prior to this, we need to have a loop. Got it? Now you write. No, you use for loop only. Yes, online people, any doubts? If you have any doubt, you ask me.
No, sir.
You are not writing. Okay, but whatever I told you to write, that is within the class. Most of the times I will try to make it independent class so that everyone could able to follow. If you don't write in this class, then attending also is of no use, right? Yes or no? For the next class also you cannot write. So please try to participate. Then only your level will be improved. Whether it is right or wrong, that is secondary. But you try to participate. Yeah, 3 steps you need to repeat. You need to enclose 3 steps in the loop. I told you. How many times we have to repeat the loop? 5 times. So how can we repeat a loop for 5 times? For I in range of 1 comma 6. Right? 1 comma 6. What are the 3 statements? N is equal to input of enter number, right? This is the one. Next, if n is divisible by 2, then we have to print n square. So let us consider s is equal to n into n, then print s. Okay. Now we have to repeat. So this will be repeated. Yes. Else. Okay. If it is not even, in middle, if you get odd number, then we have to terminate, isn't it? We have to terminate the loop prior to its normal completion. Then we have to make use of break. So where we can write here, else, that's it. Simple thing. We are taking the input, we are checking whether it is even or not, then we are finding the square of it if it is even and displaying it. Then else part will not be executed. Again, this will be repeated. If it is even, again it will calculate the square and display. If it is odd, then this condition will be failed, then else break. So it will stop. It will not ask for next number. Okay. If you keep on giving even numbers only, then it will take 5 even numbers, up to 5 even numbers it will take and print the square. Afterwards it will terminate. That is normal completion. Okay. For this you frame the question. Otherwise go back to the no. Here break means loop will be terminated. Or for your understanding, I can say here, okay. Now, if I give n value as 4, then what? This is the output. N value as 4, 16. Then again enter number, like that it will ask. Okay. Again, if I give 6, 36. 8, 64. Okay, next 9. Then it will display n. Okay, let us consider another sequence. N value is 2, 4, 2, 12, 14, 10. Then end will be displayed. Understand? This is the independent statement. So whenever loop is terminated, this statement will be executed. So if you give odd number, then loop will be terminated prior to its normal completion. So after displaying 3 itself, end is being printed. Okay, if you keep on giving these, then 5 numbers, after displaying 5 numbers squares, it will display end. Got the difference? Yeah. Yeah. Next, again another program, like you will take string as the input. Initially, string as the input. Let us consider okay, if I take yes, okay, you need to display this character by character. Character by character in the sense, how we can take, how we can get character by character? For I in yes, if this is S, capital S, let us say, or S1, for I in S1, for I in S1, print, 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 print I, right? Print I. So print I, then this will be printed. Then again C will be printed. Next. F will be printed, A will be printed, like this. All these characters will be printed like this. I, C, F, A, like this it will print. Got it? Now the requirement is one string will be taken as the input. After that, we will be displaying character by character. But whenever you get a character as, let us say, one character, what you call this? That hash character, then you need to stop. Okay, the string can be anything, like string can be like phi hash fst. This is the string. Then what it has to display? Okay, can you able to write this one? Input should be this kind of string. Okay, output should be like this. Yeah, can you able to write? First of all, input how you will take? Input S is equal to, let us say S is equal to input of enter string. Next, for I in, here we don't know how many times we have to repeat, that you keep in mind. That's why we are not using range. Range function we use whenever we know how many number of times we have to repeat. So now I in yes, I in S, what we have to display? We should check. We should check. If I if I is equal to hash, can we need to display? No. Can we need to display further characters? No. We should stop. So if I is equal to hash, then break. We have to stop. Otherwise, we have to print. Else print I. I in hash you can use. In is called membership operator, right? Yeah. Got it? Suppose if the input is what will be the output? FST. Okay. Now, have you taken this? Yeah. And now you consider this is the input and the required output is like this. FST, then IC, then IS. Try to understand? We wanted to display like this. That is, we are having one character. Whenever that character comes, that character comes, we wanted to terminate the loop or not? Huh? No, we don't want to terminate. We wanted to skip that. Got it? So simply what we can do is, simply what we can use here, instead of checking for equal to, if it is not equal to hash, then only we will display. Otherwise, we need not display. Got it? Like that we can do. In any other case, is there any other way? Like you consider another example. Try to understand the problems, then only you will get the logic. Okay? Like I'll be giving a number, two numbers, let us say m and n. Okay? M and n. I will start from m. If it is even, okay, if it is even, then I will display m square. Okay? If it is odd, I will display m square and m by 2 as well. Or you consider in reverse way. It is odd means we will display like this, even means this one. Okay? If it is odd, we will display this one. If it is even, we will display this. Okay? How can we, starting from m, all the numbers, m to n, all the numbers we have to check whether it is even or odd. Accordingly, we have to display either m square or m square and m by 2. Okay? This is the simple program. So for this, we can make use of loop in range of m to n plus 1. This is simple. Next, if it is, that is if I mod 2 is equal to 0, that means it is even, then we have to display m square m by 2. Otherwise m square. Okay, a simple program. Now what is this one? This statement is what? What is this statement? Same statement. Can we able to optimize? Try to understand. Same statement, right? So how we can do? How we could use it only one time? That statement. That means, on the other hand, like you consider it is not equal to. How we can change this? If I mod 2 is not equal to 0, then we have to print m square, else m square m by 2. So this is common in both the statements, right? If and else. So this we can keep it here. Understand? Then we will check whether we have to execute this or not. Okay? This statement is common, this statement is common, so we will keep it outside of this. Got it? So like this is one scenario. Now you consider this one, earlier one. We wanted to print this, okay, by excluding some characters like hash we don't want. So remaining characters it has to print. So what we can do is, one way is to use not equal to. If it is not equal to, then only we will display that particular character. And there is one convention that like break, we are having a statement called continue. Okay, continue is the statement. What it will do is, it will start from, let us say, one loop we are having, which will run from 1 to 5. Okay, for 1 it will execute some set of statements, for 2 it will execute some set of statements, like that for all the 5 iterations. Okay, for all the 5 iterations, 5 repetitions, it will perform some set of statements, it will execute some set of statements. Now for one particular iteration, we don't want to execute certain statements. Out of those, let us say 10 statements we are having under a loop. Okay, now whenever one condition met, then we don't want to continue for that particular iteration, but we wanted to continue the loop. Understand? Suppose I value, suppose you consider a simple example, I value will be repeated from 1 to 5 or 1 to 50. Whenever we find a prime number, whenever it is a prime number, we don't want to display factors of it, because we know what are the factors of prime number. So we don't want to display factors. If it is other than prime number, then only we wanted to display factors. Okay. Overall, what is the program here? From 1 to 50, for every number, you need to display factors. It is the program. From 1 to 50, you need to display factors of each and every number. So now, whenever we take one by one numbers, if it is prime number, we will not do anything. Okay, we need not check the prime factors. So we will stop that iteration. Okay, we will continue with the next number. Understand? So for that, we will make use of continue keyword. Okay, this is the statement. Like a break inside a loop, we can use continue to terminate current iteration, not entire loop. Break if you give, entire loop will be terminated. But continue if you give, whatever the statements prior to this continue will be executed. Okay, after this continue, whatever the statements under the loop, okay, those will be skipped for the current iteration, that you keep in mind. Okay, like let us consider simple thing. We are having 10 statements, let us say. Okay, 10 statements inside a loop. This is a loop which will repeat for 10 times, 1 comma or 50 times. 50 times it will be repeated. Now you are having continue here for certain condition. That is, if I is prime, let us say, if I is prime, okay, corresponding statement you have to replace here. Okay, just I am assuming this is the condition. If I is prime, then continue. That means these statements will be skipped. For what? For that particular I only it will be skipped. Next I, again these will be executed, then it will check. If it is not prime, then it will execute these as well. Understand? For the next one, again these will be executed, then this condition will be checked. If that is prime, then these statements will be skipped. Okay, for the current iteration, whatever the next statements that we have, those will be skipped. Okay, don't consider that continue means current iteration will be skipped. Not like that. Current iteration in the sense, this entire thing is the current iteration, isn't it? Current iteration in the sense, current round is nothing but these all statements will be executed. But out of those, these statements until this continue, whatever the statements we have, those all will be executed normally. After this, whatever the statements we have, those will be skipped. Okay. Again, next for the next iteration, it is fresh. Again, it will execute all the statements. Got it? Now, how can we write earlier one, like hash? Whenever we have hash, we wanted to skip. Then can you able to write that program? A string is given to you. Write a program to display the string characters in the string by excluding hash. That is the program, right? How we can write? Input is what? Input is yes. Yes is the input. Then for I in yes. For I in yes. If I is equal to hash, then if I is equal to hash, then continue. Okay, continue. Else, can we need to use else? If, because we need to display it. That's it. Okay, we will have that statement here directly. Print I. That's it. Then it will exclude this. Whenever we find this hash, then automatically it will continue. Like it will skip that particular current iteration. Okay, or you consider simple thing. ABC is the string. Given string is ABC. You have to display like AABBCC. Okay, AABBCC. What you can do? Just instead of we will not be having any if statement. Just print I, print I. You will be getting like this, of course, right? AABB like this. 2 times if you use print, that's it. Now the requirement is like ABC hash D. Okay, then output should be like AABB CC, then hash, then DD. Okay, hash you need to display only 1 time, but remaining characters you have to display 2 times. So how can we modify this program? Simple thing. If I is equal to hash, under that print I, print I. Then how many times it will be printed? Same. This output will get. If I is equal to hash, then continue. Okay. That means hash we have to print, right? So okay, here we can have print I. Okay. Then continue. Then print I, print I. Here we need to have so what will be the output for A hash B? What will be the output? AA hash BB. This will be the output. How it will be executed? Please explain. What's the question? What is the question? That is the question. What is the use of continue? Last. What's the question? What is the question? ABC. Next. What is the question? That is the question. What is the question? What is the question? Last. Here. Sit. Intention is not making you to stand. Okay. If you don't know, you say, I don't know, I didn't listen, I could not listen, I cannot understand. Like that you say. So what's the question is, if the string is given, then we have to display the character twice. Okay. If the character is other than hash. If the character is hash, we have to display once. That's the question. Okay. Now how it will be executed? We are taking the input, afterwards we are getting character by character. If the character is hash, then we are displaying only once, then we are skipping these statements. If the character is other than this, then it will print twice. That's it. Okay. And even you can optimize it like print I, you can keep it here. One print I is mandatory for every character, right? Print I you can keep it here so that you can avoid here and here. Okay, 2 times only you can have that print. Okay, then tomorrow you assemble at what is that number? That lab 211 or something. Thank you, ma. You please enter your roll number.